Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Whose Fault Is It Anyways. Today we have a pretty polite request from an Archon Vengeful Spirit playing hard support this game, and I feel a little bad roasting you this time because, I don't know, you seem like you're trying your best, but it's not good enough. So let's talk about what you can do to improve. You listed out a couple things you think, you did wrong, kind of your thought process, and then asked, are there any fundamental issues? And yes, there are some deep fundamental issues with a couple things you're doing, and so let's expand upon that because despite what the YouTube comments will say, many supports make these mistakes, and it's very easy. I'm actually guilty of this myself, but I'll walk you through it, and I hope it'll help you improve a lot on how you are approaching the game. It'll all happen within the first 10 minutes. So, first blood, great. You talk about how this Nature's Prophet does get out of control. He's against a Pudge mid. He is going to have a good time. There's not too much you can do, but there is a little bit which you didn't quite do, and again, we'll get into that. Unfortunately, your team only picks up one bounty rune. That's usually not a huge deal, but it will matter in some cases, such as this game. Now, something you should do every game that I am guilty of not doing is to click the enemy heroes and find out what they have. This is a good trade, by the way. That's all I'm going to say about it. You could actually commit your blood grenade here and possibly kill him, but you want to click him and see, hey, he's got a healing salve. Now, actually, this was such a good trade. Maybe he should pop the healing salve and approach lane full health, but let's say that trade didn't happen because honestly, he shouldn't have been hanging around there anyways. He has a salve. It is 400 health for him, 200 health for his allies. What does that mean? It means harassing Rubik, unless you're going to get the actual kill, it's still good to do, but I'm a little less interested in it because if we have to use a lot of mana to harass this Rubik, mana is more expensive than health because tangos and salves are more efficient than clarities and mangoes. So not that I'm going to totally ignore Rubik, but I am less interested in him. But let's go and check this Underlord. What does he have? This should be suspicious. This should set off alarms in your head. It's why I clickbaited this thumbnail. Where is his money? This is not 600 gold worth of starting items. You're an Archon. People starting with really bad starting items, it's decreasing. It'll still happen, but at this point, you should kind of assume maybe he has a plan for that money he didn't spend. We should know that a lot of offlaners really like Vanguard. Underlord is one of those heroes, and it's pretty common amongst Vanguard builders to go for a greedy start where they don't spend all of their money and they try to rush this Ring of Health. How much money did he save? I know that math is difficult on the fly, especially for the NA audience, but it's 145 gold. How much periodic gold does he get? 90 right now. How much gold is in a last hit? For the entire creep wave, on average, about 160 if he gets every last hit. What that means, assuming he misses a couple last hits here, you've got about 2 to 3 minutes before he finishes this Ring of Health. Coming back to you, you're going to unblock this small camp, which in general is fine, but keep in mind, one huge priority, once we've identified the greedy start from Underlord, is to prevent any hard pulls within the first minute or two, because one single pull will pretty much mean Equilibrium comes back here. Their hard pull cannot be matched by your small pull because the hard cam is stronger. So if they pull even once, it's probably enough time for the Ring of Health to come online. Blocking this camp is one viable option. Body blocking it is another. Standing here to prevent the pull, like you see him trying it, you interrupt it. All of these will work. You just need to identify based on the matchup, right? You could be playing in different matchups, but there will always be offlaners going for a greedy start like this. So once you can identify he's going greedy, what are things I need to stop? I can't allow hard pulls, and I can't allow him to freely farm in this first 2 minutes. This dictates what we need to do. We've talked about it already, so let's just summarize here. We need to punish the greedy start. If we push off the Vanguard timing, that's good, because once the Vanguard comes online, it's very difficult to harass him. The laning stage is pretty much over. If I focus all my attention on Underlord, he didn't buy a lot of regen, we can punish him by forcing him to either buy regen, which is going to be delayed so he misses some last hits, pushes off that Vanguard timing, or he tries to go really greedy, and maybe we kill him, making him lose some gold. These are all good things to lead to a solid laning stage. Or we can walk point blank up to Rubik and then just start fighting him all the time. So I'm just gonna let this laning stage play out a little fast, and you just tell me how much you feel you've bothered Underlord in this time. Again, Rubik's got that salve, Rubik outranges you, trading him isn't even that good for you. Wind Ranger is technically range versus melee, so she could harass, but she needs to focus on last hits. So if you were on the left side just harassing Underlord, what can he do about that? Even though you're a short-ranged hero, he's melee, so you get to hit him for free. When Rubik hits Wind Ranger, she actually has longer attack range than him, so she can actually hit back. Now, she won't always do it because she is sometimes going to be last hitting, but she has much more freedom as a ranged hero to position safely than Underlord does. Underlord going for these last hits that he really needs, he needs to be up close. Now, notice this trade. Hey, we stunned him. We attacked like 3 times. Look at that. That was like a third, a fourth of his health. If you do this once, just tango. I got a stick. I don't really care. I'll keep playing the lane. If you had did that earlier instead of hitting the Rubik, and now you did it a second time, maybe this is the third time you did it, now this guy sitting down here. And I'm going, wait a minute. 3 tangos isn't really enough to regen 600 health. I wish I had a salve. Rubik, please, use a salve on me. And Rubik says, screw you. It's 50% value on you. I don't care about you. Or if he does, he's wasted money, right? It's not efficient. That's good for you too. Or he decides, okay, fine, I got to buy a salve. We just delayed Vanguard by 100 gold. Great. Or he keeps going greedy. He's like, I'm pretty close to ring of health. I don't want to buy a salve. I'm going to be greedy. And now you sneak around and you kill him. He loses gold. He loses creep waves. Again, delaying the ring of health, delaying the Vanguard. But you didn't do that. We hit Rubik, who, by the way, got that hard pull off because you did do a little bit of harassing at Underlord, but it was at the wrong time, right? You need to do it when the lane first starts. There's no pull camps. Now, if you had blocked this camp, you could continue doing what you're doing, but you didn't. So that means at around 117, right, you got to be over here. You got to be stopping Rubik. They pull. Underlord, he doesn't have it yet. This is enough gold. This is 160 gold here. He's done it. He got away with the greed, assuming he gets all 4 last hits. 1 minute, 36 seconds into the lane, I can already see the end of it. Unfortunately, Underlord doesn't know how to use his courier, so he doesn't buy it until like 3 minutes and 37 seconds. But this should have come online at 2 minutes, and that's not at all what we wanted, right? At this point, now he's got 7.8 regen. He's going to reduce your attack damage. The Vanguard's coming online at like 5 minutes at this rate. And then at 5 minutes, how do we feel about that? We don't feel very good. So in terms of lane, that's where I'll stop talking about it. Once Underlord gets the Vanguard, it is time to look towards other lanes because there's not much that's going to happen here. Not only are you not going to kill Underlord, but how likely are they going to kill Wind Ranger? Underlord's not known as the most aggressive offlaner against ranged heroes. He has a much easier time against melee heroes, but Wind Ranger, she may not have a very great time last sitting here, but she won't die too much. And there's not much you can do to change that dynamic once he gets the Vanguard, so it's time to move on. Now let's talk about the mid rotation you mentioned. So Pudge into the Nature's Prophet. He's actually kind of doing okay up to this point, all things considered, but they managed to rotate both supports over. I don't know, there's some pro level Dota going on here. So they grab both water runes. Are we able to punish Underlord? No, because the lane is over here. This is where you kind of need to pre-identify this, like around 3 minutes. Okay, get the equilibrium back. Maybe you can head over to the water rune when the lane's over here and Wind Ranger safe. But they got the lane back, which means Rubik's free to rotate over. Oracle probably didn't leave at the best time, actually. The lane was up here, but Drow was able to just go and do her own small pull. Good on Drow. So they brought both supports over. They secured both water runes. That sucks. That's it. If they push further for a gank, you'll kind of see it happen. You see Rubik kind of like walk away. You see Pudge play it safe. You did mention like Pudge called for help, so that's why you teleport over. But it's where you need to like decide for yourself. Look at what's happening. Silencer, he's being called over to. He's like, oh, okay, we got to go. You're coming over. What are you guys doing? The runes are gone. The enemy team has outplayed you here, and it happens. They're more on top of the timings. They get it done. It costs them something to do that. The supports come mid. It means both side lanes are now weak. If you are too late to help with the mid, you must try to do something on the side lanes. You need to get value out of this, right? Maybe it's punish this Underlord. Maybe it's stack a camp. Maybe it's do a pull that the offlaner can't contest. It's punishing the carry. If you come mid late after the runes, unless they are actively trying to kill Pudge, which is when you TP in, when you see them close in, while you watch the minimap while you're doing whatever else, that is a good rotation as a response to them like further diving the mid tower. They're not doing that. They got the runes and they're leaving. You guys are teleporting in mid to not accomplish anything, and the two supports who came here are already going back to their side lanes, which means they will now punish your heroes that you left on the side. So they got the runes and the punish, and you guys got nothing. This teleport just won't accomplish anything, especially because you don't have a smoke. Speaking of Nature's Prophet versus Pudge, right? Oh, it's a tough matchup. Yes. Nature's is actually quite easy to kill because he has no mobility, and as long as you guys have Quelling Blades, you can get through the sprouts. So all you have to do is like hook him in, and it is actually possible to kill him. How can we do that? Stun him. It's daytime though, so can we just walk up? No. But if you buy a Smoke of Deceit fairly early and you do this teleport, you could smoke over here, you could run around, and then when he walks a little too far up, you walk in close, you blood grenade, you stun, you wave of terror, you get the hook off guaranteed, and then that's actually a kill. That's helping the mid matchup that is pretty difficult, and you can identify that, again, way at the start of the draft. Minute 0, the game knowledge. Hey, it's Nature's Prophet versus Pudge mid. That's not going to be very good for Pudge, and then Nature's is going to be able to rotate everywhere and wreck us. But a kill or two, maybe that changes that dynamic. How do I enable that kill? If you're a hero like Earth Spirit, you don't necessarily need the smoke. You can just like roll in, it's possible. But for heroes who have stuns but no gap closers, you need to get as close as possible before you're spotted. That means you need a smoke. Otherwise, stuff like this happens where you just like awkwardly hug the edge and like, how do we help? How do we do this? Throw the hook before we get the stun off, okay. And then, okay, we got 3 heroes here not doing anything. They kind of stuck around longer than they need to. Here's the 2v1 punish while you guys are gone. Oracle got a rune and the punish. Now you're going to walk back. You're missing XP. You didn't get anything done in that time. It's all around a frowny face, sad time. Because the lane didn't go very well, and now you've like TP'd mid, wasted time, you don't have very much net worth, so the items you buy, most of them are okay. I wouldn't really buy this Tango set, but now you just don't have boots, and you didn't buy smoke, which you could have at least bought the smoke, and that would allow you to kill him, because even though it's nighttime, which does make it much easier to wrap around, he could have a ward, and then he would see you. So having the smoke, securing a kill by sneaking around, this makes your time in mid much more likely to succeed. And this is another fundamental misunderstanding. I feel like you're trying to help mid, but you don't understand what you need to do to help mid, which is to get a kill, which is to stun him, which means you need to get close, which means you need move speed or you need a Smoke of Deceit. And you have neither, but you're still going to spend a lot of time in mid. So you're doing things that have a very low chance of success, but could have had a high chance of success if you correctly identified what you needed. You did identify in your post that, the lanes didn't go so hot, try to help other people. You just need to identify that sooner. I want to show you this fight bottom where Pudge comes down here. It's an Oracle, it's a Drow. They have like 700 health, 800 health. No, she's got 700 too. Underlord, 1250 Vanguard, right? It's really difficult up here. That bottom lane, super easy. Easy targets to kill, like so. Pudge comes in, they harass the Oracle. You get a great hook here. Perhaps if there was an easier way to set up hooks, some kind of like mystical, magical projectile missile, I don't know, something that might prevent the enemy from moving at range. That could be a really easy, guaranteed way to set up hooks to get straightforward kills, like so. Just a thought. This was a very easy kill. Instead, we keep walking top. We keep going at this Underlord with the Vanguard, and even if you weren't just playing like chicken with him, walking back and forth, and you hit him for 10 seconds, you would not do a lot of damage to this guy because he has Vanguard and Atrophy Aura. So your ability to do anything up here is greatly reduced. And even when Pudge rotates up here and we have 3 heroes trying to kill this Underlord, the execution, not the best, but you see how long it takes to kill Underlord compared to that Drow, compared to that Oracle. Those were much easier kills. You do get a bit unlucky. Nature's picks up a DD and rotates up here. I mean, Nature's was always going to rotate, but having the DD, quite unfortunate. That part you can't do too much on. It all had to be earlier by, maybe successfully killing him once or twice with the type of rotations we talked about. But from here, we got to stop going top. We've got to stop going top. We can't do anything to Underlord. 3 of us died trying to kill Underlord. Oracle and Drow have the same amount of flimsy HP you do. You could bring 4 heroes to kill those carries, or we could keep trying to do things to Underlord and the Nature's Prophet who can rotate in, who's having a really good start. This Underlord has half health. He's under the tower. You rotate, you ult. Look how long this takes. Look how difficult this kill. If Nature's Prophet had teleport, came up here, don't you think any of this different? If this guy had full health and just walked back, wouldn't even die. Now, fortunately, you do get the kill because he was half health under the tower when that started, and Nature's, I don't know, is busy elsewhere. But you see how difficult that was compared to how easy this kind of gank is. Drow at half health, wow, dead. Now she almost got Gust off, pushing all of this away. Perhaps some kind of ability, something that could stun from Fog of War, where she doesn't see us just running out. I don't know, guys. Can we think of anything that might allow these kind of ganks to have a bit more chance at succeeding? Now, Underlord's gonna farm whether or not you are in the top lane. He can farm on his own. He can farm against multiple heroes because he is the Vanguard and he is strong versus your heroes. In the bottom lane, your offlaner may or may not get kills on her own, but with help with multiple heroes there, she is much more likely to succeed. So that means Underlord is kind of going to scale regardless of what we do, but Legion Commander may only scale if we are there. So, returning to the top lane yet again, 12 minutes in. Even if the lane was going well, you shouldn't really be coming top anymore. But this lane has been over since the Vanguard. Now, I don't mean like totally ignore this lane, right? We're still going to help a little bit, especially with teleports, right? But my priority to stay in the lane, it's just not there because there's not much you can do into the Vanguard. I don't know how many times I've repeated that this game, but I want that message to be very clear. Vanguard has been popular for quite a while. So once it's out, I'm not saying you have to totally give up. It really depends on the heroes you have, though. And two heroes who mainly poke with right clicks are not going to have a great time versus Vanguard. Unless you have like some kind of stacking potential like Ursa or Monkey King or Slark. They can kind of still play into the Vanguard. But heroes who don't have that, there's not much you do into it. So you should swap. Instead of constantly bringing more heroes up here, slowing down your carry and drawing attention here, do it to the enemy carry where you're more likely to succeed and maybe draw people away from your carry down here to help their own carry, and is going to be generally better for you. Your final conclusion that, the lanes weren't going great, so you got to help Legion, that is correct. You just need to identify that a lot sooner, and part of that was not recognizing the timings you had in your lane and then what you need to succeed in the mid lane. But if you could identify how easy this shit is 7 minutes ago, imagine 7 minutes of killing Drow, of preventing her from farming, of drawing heroes down here like this, that even if you die as a support, now there's so many heroes down here that the mid lane has space to catch up, or maybe the mid lane's here participating, that Wind Ranger has space because Underlord felt the need to teleport down here because you guys were killing Drow under her tower, something like that. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment with the information you see on the screen if you want a chance to be picked for a future episode, and I will roast you there.